Morning, everyone. I'm just waiting for people to join. I don't know what happened with Paola. I'm guessing she'll be joining us a little bit later. Um, it's 10 o'clock in the morning here, so good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Um, let's see. So the talk about today is going to be about generators, basic information, how they work, different types of generators. So we can start with let's see. Let's start talking about the different type of generators. Uh, I'm just referring to the usual ones because there's a bunch of them. I mean, you can use them for spas or pools or municipal water services and stuff like that. But basically, in we use the ones that we know for therapy, the ones to clean water and fruits and vegetables, the ones that we use to clean air, and the ionic ones that are the ones that run constantly and don't really produce a lot of ozone. So let me show you some examples here. Like for a therapy generate, well, let's leave the therapy at the end. This small one, it's a ionic generator. This is not really a generator. It generates ozone, but the purpose of it is to trap dust particles and it releases ozone, but it's a tiny amount. So some people think that ozone is safe to breathe because of this, but it's not. It's just that the amount of ozone is almost none. So these are the ionic ones. Then we have the ones that you use for our water, vegetables, and stuff. And this is the one that I use. I've used this for I don't know how many years, but a lot. Hold on a second. Uh, Okay, so I guess Paola is not going to be joining us. So this is a very cheap generator. It has been working every day in my house for about 10 years. Uh, this works perfectly for fruits, vegetables. Also, if you're starting in therapy, this is a great way to go, and it's about 60 bucks. So then we have this type of generator. These are the ones that handle a lot of air volume to produce ozone. And these are the ones that we use to okay. Paola says that she can't. Huh. Paola, on your computer, on your browser, it doesn't work. But anyway, um, these are the ones that we use to treat a house, treat the duct systems on our air conditioner and stuff like that. Okay. And this is about 60 bucks also. And then we have the ones that we use for therapy. Like this one is from Simple O3. This is a great generator. If I was impressed because it's super simple to use and works perfect. We have the ones from Promo Life that I like. This is a great generator, but this is aimed at doctors or stuff like that. This is a professional generator. And I have another one here. This is on the lower end. This is from Synergy, but this was modified. Okay, hold on a second. Paola is here. Yeah, a little bit louder.
Hey, can you hear me? Hey, sorry about that. You know what? I had to open it in a different browser because I'm using Opera, and still Opera is just blocking lots of stuff. But now I'm using Chrome, and Chrome did the
Okay.
trick. Plus, I thought I had another hour.
Okay. Well,
I totally got the time wrong. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm totally late to the party. So I just caught that you were talking about ionic generators.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What
Go ahead.
can you for me, especially for me, can you do a quick recap? What are ionic generators?
Well, they're not really actually ozone generators. They generate ozone because they produce an electric discharge that produces ozone, but they're designed to uh, attract particles of dust. So actually, the ozone there is just a byproduct. They're not designed to, and that's why we have had people that says, "No, I have my ozone generator running 24/7, and it's fine to breathe." The truth is that the amount of ozone release is just almost nothing. Like between 50 or maybe 200 grams an hour. So it's
Hmm. So those are the ionic ones. Those are the air purifiers. Is that what you mean?
yeah. Well, the thing is that they call okay. This is an ionic generator. Okay.
Okay. Right. So this is like, yeah, one of those air purifiers, right?
Yeah, but they call these ones air purifiers too. So you need to be careful.
Right. Right.
So
Because
this
that thing is like you can like purify yourself like to
right,
another
right.
dimension.
Uh, this is good to clean your air conditioner ducts and whatever. This is just a toy to keep your wife happy and thinking that she's, you know.
That's how you keep your wife happy. To
No,
do no.
I have other tricks, but we're not talking about them tonight, today. So, okay. So after that, we mentioned the therapy generators. I was showing this one that you haven't seen, but let me show you. You've seen this kind of generator, right?
Is it that synergy one?
Yeah, but this one it's different. Can you see it?
I cannot. It's
Not
really
really.
bright. I cannot see it.
Yeah,
It's too
I see
bright.
it. Well, but this was I have this one because it was sent to me, so it has all new components inside. It's
Okay.
just it's a good generator in a cheap enclosure.
Okay.
So, well, those are the basically the types of generators. Um, I don't think we have any question. I don't see any question.
Right. So basically, okay. So it's basically air-fed generators. Like, okay, the ionic ones. So yeah, they can be like little like air purifiers, and then the other ones like industrial type things that
Right, right.
people use to remedy homes, or what else do they
The
use?
ionic ones.
Yeah, but the large scale ones, the one that the big one that you
Oh,
showed,
to get rid of smells, basically. Clean
right?
your car, treat your dogs. If you got I don't know, a sofa or whatever in a jar sale, you may want to treat that just to make sure that there's
Right,
nothing nasty there. And
right.
this type, uh, this
The air-fed
fruits,
water ozonators, right?
yeah, fruits and vegetables, drink water, stuff like that. All right. So let's see here.
Okay, so one thing, so the thing the way I wanted to start off, first of all, I don't know, maybe you mentioned this, but I'm a little late to the party. Is like, okay, what's your background with ozone generators? Like, why should people listen to you about ozone generators to begin with? Maybe you
Uh,
want to talk about
you
this a
know,
bit.
I'm not sure they need to listen to me because my background on generators is just hands-on. It's not that I'm not like a scientific guy, or it's just that I work with them, and I got to know them, I guess. It's I've seen and work with most of them, the commercial ones, the ones that we
Hmm.
regularly see. And that's it. I don't know. I don't know what qualification would I have. Just
But you have, okay, so for how long have you been working with generators? For how long have you been opening them up and looking into them, and
for over 10 years.
over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So you have basically seen every ozone generator and every type of ozone generator that's on the market or ever
Every time.
has been on the market.
Yeah, because the next thing that we're gonna talk about is what's inside the generator.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I see a picture, somebody, and I don't know what's inside, but I can just kind of figure out just by looking at them, seeing the chart and stuff, because I
Okay.
know the cells that they use. And so generators, yeah, I basically know them. Every once in a while, somebody comes out with something new, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not that often. You know, it's
All
it's
right.
like we're gonna talk about this, but the difference between generators is mostly in like the new ones that Promo Life came out with. They have a timer. They have, it's more features, but the basic operation and the basic function is exactly the same as any other.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next point.
So
Which
the
one?
next point would be what's inside of them.
Right.
And like, okay, every generator needs to have three things: one source for oxygen, right? That it could
Mm-hmm.
be your oxygen tank, or it could be small air pump like this,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Or it could be a fan, just a simple fan. You can see that I have all kinds of crap on my desk. So a regular fan.
Okay, but that fan will be built into the generator. Yes.
Yeah, that fan would be, you can actually see it here. You see, this is the back. Let's see if I can take this out. No. But there's a fan here
Okay.
pulling air this way,
Mm-hmm.
blowing it this way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this generator takes the oxygen from the air and uses a cell, let's see, like this one.
Ah, a flat one.
Oh, yeah, but I don't know why. Let's see. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
too
really
bright.
bright.
Let me move this like that, or then
Do you have a light source directed at you?
no.
You don't.
My uh, I have a couple of no, monitors. Well, you can see it there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a flat cell, and the air comes, here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
it produces ozone. So this type of cell works with a fan. It takes
Mm-hmm.
a fan to feed the oxygen. Um,
Okay, but air pump and fan, this is also only in place with air-fed generators. So generators that
Right,
would run on
right.
oxygen would not have those things.
Y- Uh,
Sometimes they
yeah,
do.
like the guys from A2C,
Yeah.
they have both uh, options. You can actually buy a generator that works with air, but you can stop the pump and put some oxygen.
Ah, I see. Okay. So, but when you hook it up to an oxygen source, then you have to switch the pump off,
Yeah,
right? Right.
actually, you don't have to switch it off because the way they do it, you change the hose. So even if the pump
Uh-huh.
is pumping
Through a
both.
different
But yeah,
channel.
you can
Hmm.
you should switch it off. That's
Okay.
one type of cell for this one to work with air with a fan. This is not for a pump.
Okay.
This only works with a fan because the air has to go through here.
Okay.
Okay. Now the other type of cell is this one here, or this one. This is
Okay.
from
Those run on oxygen
or air.
or also air. Okay.
I mean, if you feed them air, they will produce ozone at lesser concentration. But yeah,
Hmm. Okay, but if it's air, then they need an air pump.
right, right.
Hmm.
Like the generator that I use for water uses a cell that looks like this. It's not this one. It's different. But I mean this type of cell with a air pump.
Hmm.
Okay.
So explain to me what is that blue thing on
This
that
is
last
just
one that you
a heat dissipator
heat
because
dissipator? Okay,
right
right.
because the corona discharge produces heat. You need to get rid of it. Okay,
Right.
and that's why smaller generators have a little fan
Mm-hmm.
to cool the cell. Longevity that uses this cell doesn't use a fan.
This is the cell that longevity uses.
Yes.
Is this wait? Are you telling me this is an original longevity cell, or is this like a
No, no, no. This
similar?
is no, no. This is from a longevity generator.
This is from a longevity
Yeah.
generator. All right. Okay.
Remember that when Corey said that I was lying, somebody offered to send me a longevity generator to take apart.
Wait, who told you? Who asked you?
On the group, Corey said that I was just a hater of longevity, you know. And I said no. The only thing that I'm saying is that there's no such thing as quartz electrodes.
Right.
So
Right.
a nice user sent me his generator to take apart. This is the
Mm-hmm.
cell. Okay.
This is the cell. Okay, so all right. Well, why did he send you a longevity generator to take apart? I mean, this is a costly thing to take apart, or was it broken or something?
I guess he wanted me to show that longevity was lying.
Okay, all right. Okay, so explain to us what we're looking at exactly, like the single components of that cell.
Okay,
How does it work?
it's gonna be a little bit hard because okay, you put oxygen here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this it's a double walled tube, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
a chamber. So you put oxygen here and you get ozone here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
this part here, this silver part, is
Mm-hmm.
one of the electrodes,
Mm-hmm.
and inside, but I don't think you can see inside.
Yeah, you can see that there is something too. There's like
Okay,
something
it's
similar,
another
like.
layer of metal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me put it this way. So this cable goes to one pole of the electricity, the source. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
the other pole goes out here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the way a generator works. You put high voltage here and here, and it provokes a spark between the
Mm-hmm.
two electrodes, right? But in that space, we fill that space with oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the corona discharge gets produces the ozone,
Mm-hmm.
makes the oxygen go crazy and becomes ozone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. So we have definitely metal electrodes around. Like without the metal electrodes, this would
oh,
not work
right,
because you can't conduct electricity just
no,
through glass.
and,
So you
uh,
absolutely need metal. But what is definitely true, and nobody denies it, that the ozone and the oxygen are not in contact with the metal.
with any metal, right,
Right.
right,
But the electrode themselves are
are
made out of
metal.
metal, not
Yeah,
glass.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. By definition, you cannot have an electrode made of a dielectric material.
Right.
You just
Right.
and that's my only point. People think that I hate longevity. I don't. I just hate misinformation and lies,
Right.
especially when they're this simple to prove.
Right. Yeah.
So okay,
Okay, but
so
now, from what I understand, is that when you read on the website, they have upgraded their technology so that, from what I understand, they only use one electrode. It's like this is their NEOS technology, from what I understand. Are you aware of this?
no, 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 not well. No, I'm not. But I can tell you one thing without it's not true. They cannot use one electrode.
Okay.
I mean, you have an anode and a cathode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's two.
Mm-hmm.
If they're using corona discharge,
Mm-hmm.
so they need two. I, I,
Okay.
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but I know that they need two electrodes.
Yeah, this is what they're talking about. NEOS, they call it NEOS, NEOS technology, and they have it like I think trademarked or something. Um, yeah, and it's supposed to be like less voltage and more accurate or something.
That I believe. I mean, it doesn't sound far-fetched, but one electrode, no, it's like their crystal electrode. Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, this was a good example because on this cell, it's exactly the
Mm-hmm.
same. The heat dissipator acts like an electrode, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then here you connect the other part inside. So it
Mm-hmm.
has, a stainless steel tube inside,
Mm-hmm.
and it touches the other part of the power supply.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so well, we were talking about parts. The basic part of every generator is a cell that can be like that one or like this one flat one. Okay,
Right.
a power supply.
Mm-hmm.
I have a power supply here, and they are different size, different uh, capacities, um, but it's a power supply, a cell, and an oxygen source. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basics. Everything
Mm-hmm.
else, it's just to make it look nice or safer or whatever. But that's
Okay.
that's the basic. Uh, what else?
So can I? Is it okay if I ask questions in
Sure,
between?
sure,
Or
sure. No, no,
okay.
sure.
Okay, so what do you say about this claim that, like one manufacturer says our generators are, what do they say, cold corona discharge, and no, our generators are the truest cold corona
Yeah,
discharge,
yeah, yeah,
but no, 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 other generators are the most coldest
yeah.
the truest cold corona discharge generators, and the only ones on the market, and
All of
like it,
them produce heat. All of them.
right.
But some of them are optimized. You know,
Mhm,
they achieve, I guess, a balance between um, output performance and temperature, because like you can take any cell and start changing power supplies and see
Mm-hmm.
what some of them will make your cell burn, like go super hot. Some of them will never raise the temperature, but then you get a very low output. So yeah, some of them have optimized the production, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when they get really hot, then the ozone output will be diminished by that. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
yeah. Well, yeah, because ozone lives better with in colder weather, right? So
Right. Okay, so that blue cell, that cell with that blue heat dissipator on. Can you tell
mhm.
us from which generator this comes?
No, this is not from a generator. It's one of the ones that I use for different things.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but this type of cell is the one that A2C uses for their bigger generators.
Oh, okay.
This is
For the
too small
bigger.
for their generators. Um, this is actually, I think, 500 grams an hour, milligrams an
Okay.
hour.
Okay.
And the smallest one that they have in their generators is 1 gram. So, but it's the same type of cell. Now, in the next part, we're going to talk about if you can use any cell to do therapy, and I have an example because the thing with outputs, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I said, okay, this generator, whatever brand, has is good for therapy, and their cell produces whatever amount of grams per hour,
Mm-hmm.
then you may say, okay, I'm going to find a cell that produces the same and just hook oxygen onto it. But it's not that easy. I'll show you with different cells, but it doesn't work like that. Why? I don't know, but it just doesn't.
Okay.
So, um, if you have any other question about components, because we can jump to the next.
Yeah, so how important is it, like, okay, like how much does the quality of the cells differ? Like, and how
Oh,
important is that?
oh, it differs. Yeah,
It differs tremendously.
not only the cell, the power supplies too,
Okay.
and I think the biggest difference is in lifespan, how
Mm-hmm.
much they're gonna last, and accuracy.
Okay, when you say lifespan, so what is it that breaks down
Normally, it's the power supply.
the power supply? Okay,
Yeah.
so the cathodes or the anodes.
The actual cell, unless you burn it, you make it run hot and they melt or whatever, because they have some of them are like hard plastic, so they melt. But unless you do something like that, you can just change the power supply and they'll keep working.
Wait a minute. So they some of them use actually plastic inside the cells?
Well, plastic is a generic word. There's tons of different plastics, and
Okay,
some
but
of them are
the plastic is outside the cell, where the metal electrode is. Do you
okay.
mean, or
So
actually,
take
like
a look at this one.
inside?
Okay,
Yeah.
this one has a tube here. Inside it has two tubes. One is stainless steel, the other one is quartz. Okay, so
Right.
they're parallel. The heat dissipator is touching the quartz side,
Okay.
and the um, stainless steel is the inside. But these two caps are touching both tubes. These are
Okay.
the caps to the actual tube. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's this material touching.
I see. Okay. All right. So if the cell runs for too long, or if the power supply is too high, then
It
it could
could,
burn.
yeah,
Or
yeah. If you make your cell run super hot without any dissipation, no, this one is a very good cell. This
okay,
we're talking about the look. I have this that we're gonna use now, but like this type of cell right here. Let's
can
see.
you? Yeah. Right.
This one and this
Mm-hmm.
one are really cheap. Okay,
Okay.
they work fine, but they could eventually melt down. You
Okay.
know, it's
So they're not able to deal with the heat as well as others.
no. It, no, they will deal with the heat the same way. But if you do something stupid, I mean, like these guys will tell you don't run the cell more than 20 minutes or more than 15 minutes.
Okay.
You can say, okay, I'm gonna run it half an hour, but I'm gonna put a fan on it. That's fine. Or then you decide, that you're trying to experiment and change the power supply, put something that wasn't designed for that, and make it run really, really hot. You could actually melt a part of it. But that's really, really unusual. What goes bad normally is it's the power supplies. Let me see. This type of power supply is a cheap power supply.
Okay. Okay. So this is the okay the power supply. So that's the part that is connected to the inside of the chamber. So to one of the cathodes.
You can see it here. Let me see. Okay, you see those two red
All
cables?
right. Right. So one
One
goes to the
goes
cathode, the other to the anode.
right. You can,
Mm-hmm.
one goes to the anode, and the other one goes to outside the cathode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So usually that's the part that breaks down.
The power supply. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them will last 24 hours. Some of them will last forever.
Okay. All right. So when we talk plastic, that's part of the chamber. So it's not that the ozone is that the plastic is in the path of the ozone, but that the plastic is basically attached, like this is part of the housing, the casing
Yeah, but
of the cell.
it's gonna touch the oxygen or ozone at
Oh,
some.
is it? Oh, really?
Yeah, because yeah, let me. You have um hmm, a tube like this, here.
Right.
Imagine that, and if we my hand caps here, th- this one is closed, but if it was open and I needed something to just close it,
Mm-hmm.
it was gonna be my skin, right?
Right.
So it's
Okay.
just a tiny, tiny part, but yeah, my skin would be touching whatever is inside there.
Okay, so it does. So with those cheaper ones, it does touch the plastic does touch the ozone.
Well, I said plastic to say something. I don't know exactly what material they're using. You
Okay,
know,
but it's possible that they seal it with silicone, for example.
yeah, yeah. It- maybe like this one has a silicone or ring, but yeah, something else besides the quartz and besides the um,
Stainless steel.
stainless steel is touching. The same it goes for you know Promo Life and Simple O3, all of you know Herman and Sotzman.
Okay, okay. What is true? So that they have found a solution
The,
to
the,
seal it with something that's ozone resistant. Is that what you're saying?
oh no, all of them have something that is ozone resistant. Not
Right.
even the most careless Chinese in the world is gonna use you know because they want to sell their products.
Right.
Everything they use should be ozone resistant. I when I first joined the group, I was telling someone that yeah, you can use your water thingy to you can do bagging, you can do stuff because it's ozone. I mean, not the best ozone, not. the best cell, but it's ozone. At the end of the day, it's gonna work. Maybe not the way it could, but it'll work.
Okay.
So we go to the why we shouldn't just buy a cell and start ozonating ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
So
use any cell for therapy? All right.
so this is a bunch of cells. Let's see here.
Well, have you prepared this uh, for
Yeah,
this
I just went
event?
to my garage last night and pick up a bunch of cells. Now, the
Awesome.
important part of this one, of this little pegboard,
Hmm.
is that all of these cells are rated to the same output by the manufacturer.
Oh, they're supposed to put out the same amount of
Amount.
ozone. Or
In
uh
this
huh.
case, was 1 gram per hour.
Uh huh. Okay.
So you can see the difference in sizes, the different in types, and
Right.
so it's not. Oh, okay. But the point is that when I feed them with oxygen, the output you get is it's different. You cannot set, and we've been asked that before. If you know, should I get a 500 milligram cells or a gram per hour or whatever to do it's not an easy answer. It's not like one size fit all answer. Um, and also, some people have asked, could you take a picture of the generator because they wanted to look how the cell looked like and go to eBay or whatever and buy.
Hmm.
But just judging by the look, there's no way to know. Um, so no, you should not just get any cell to at least to do serious therapy, right? Because if you want to do maybe, I don't know, like water or bagging, or I'm guessing with bagging and stuff, cupping, you can get a like a red spot in your skin, but that's gonna be it. You're not gonna. I don't know if you try to do like insufflations with too high gamma or something that you if you could get hurt. Um,
Yeah, I can imagine you can. You can definitely. I think you can probably burn yourself.
yeah, yeah, probably. I don't know, but what I do know is that it's not that easy. It's not like, let me see how does it look, and like I have one. This one is very small, but I want that it's 3 gram per hour. 3 gram is a lot of ozone,
Hmm.
and I was trying to check the difference between this one because when I got this one, I start playing with it, obviously. So the 3 gram per hour done by these guys couldn't get to I don't remember, but like 40 gamma or something
Hmm.
because it wasn't designed to work with a low flow of oxygen. So
Right.
I never got it to get a decent output. So no, it's not that easy. One of the things that I want to do. Remember that the other day we discussed about hack generators.
Right. So somebody posted. Yeah, somebody
Yeah,
posted a water ozonizer, and they said that magically this machine became medical grades
medical
overnight
grade. Yeah,
without the manufacturer on the seller actually increasing the price. They actually decreased it, especially for the ozone group. But at the same time, they supposedly like upgraded the components of the machine.
yeah.
But
Well, that medical grade, it's I don't know about that. It's like I don't know the synergy generator. I the only problem, I know that there have been people saying that oil came out, from the generators. and I guess it could. I don't know. But my only problem is that he uses very cheap components.
Wait a
It's
minute. Wait a minute. The oil. Wait a minute. Okay, I don't know whether we want to use names here because the oil from the generators, I thought that was a different company, and this is
what it wasn't Synergy.
yeah, yeah, it was Synergy, right? Yeah, yeah. But I assumed that the oil from that came out, like I don't know because
Right.
I've never been there. I don't know what they're doing, but this is my speculation is that basically he because basically every seller of ozone generators they will get machines back from customers with oil in the machines, and this of course cannot be repaired. So what I speculate happened is that he basically, when he got back one of those oil damaged machines, he took out the cell and instead of properly disposing of it, he kept it. And then maybe because of disorganization, maybe because of, I don't know, maybe he forgot, like put things, like grabbed it from the wrong pile, I don't
Yeah.
know. He probably built it into a new machine, and then what happened is that oil started coming out of it when people started using the machines, and it was not a little oil, like we're talking like entire tubes,
Feel.
silicone tubes being completely clogged with oil, like being completely clogged with oil, right? So this is what I assume that now, but the other manufacturer I was talking about, this is something recent that somebody posted. They said there's this $100 machine that
Yeah,
became
yeah.
medical,
It's
became medical grade, and that members of the group have another discount of like 10% or something. So yeah, so that was interesting. So
well
what do you think about this? Like, is this a good idea to use that
that
machine
machine uses a cell that looks like this one,
like this one? Okay, so this is one
which
of
is
the.
good. It's a good cell.
It's a good sell. Okay.
And if you know the output, that guy posted I think 40 gamma, I don't know what flow, and 50. So I don't know if that chart is accurate or not. I don't know who because the company won't place that chart on their website.
Now,
But
now
yeah.
they actually do, like, or on Amazon, I think they put up
Oh,
chart.
okay. So
Hmm.
yeah, I that's fine. I mean, it's like the lower, uh, end and a hack generator. But talking about that, I'm thinking on doing a hack generator. For people that just can't or whatever. I'm gonna find a cell that it's a cheap cell. That it's that you can actually put in a pegboard, make it work, and spend like I don't know 20-30 bucks and give what I'm gonna do is give like two outputs, 1/4 such, maybe 1/8 such, and that's it. Just for I don't know bagging or it's not a therapy thing. It's the super cheap hack, do it yourself thing. It can be done. I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay.
But
And
it's just like this idea came because Kevin posted his all sale, and everybody's asking it. That cell is 3 grams per hour.
hmm and
If
that
some
and that was
let's
an air-fed generator that was running on air, or was it on oxygen?
no, I think it's oxygen.
It was oxygen.
He used it to make oil,
Okay.
but I'm sure that some genius is gonna decide that it's gonna be good for some other thing. So that's why I said, okay, if I mean you can't. Um, I mean, people will try to. Some people just don't have enough money to buy the generator and want the benefits. So I'm thinking, well, okay, let's find something cheap that can really work for just the basic, bagging. I'm sure, if you have diabetic foot or something like that, it's gonna help you. So, but that's gonna be a hack. Just like if you try to do whatever other therapy, there's someone always saying, I find out a way to do it. But the thing here is that I'm gonna post, the reading of an output.
Okay. So, and you would be confident in using such a machine and like giving it someone to use, not being afraid that the power supply is gonna burn
Not,
out
not,
or
not.
something
I
looks
mean,
weird.
not for if you use it for bagging, like answering your question. I would tell my brother, get that if you have like a wound or something and you want to do bagging. Yeah, that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I trust more in Chineses than you.
You trust the Chinese more?
Products, yeah.
Oh, really? You trust them more than whom?
And then don't you remember that day that I was telling you about your iPhone? That you
I
said it's
don't.
Chinese. I said, well, your iPhone is Chinese too. Don't remember?
I don't remember. Yeah, no, I mean Chinese doesn't, people, yeah, but people say, just because it's from China that has to, then it's bad. Well, not necessarily. I mean,
Yeah,
BMWs, some parts of BMWs,
right.
Mercedes-Benz are also produced in China. Uh, so yeah, I get that. But right, okay, so that hack, what would it look like? Would it be like an open board, like that thing that Kevin posted?
Well, actually, yeah. I'm gonna use this exactly pep word, but on this side,
Okay.
and it's gonna be a cell, uh, probably this one.
Okay,
That is
but okay, I don't know. Wait a minute, but you just said that this cell is one of the bad ones,
cheapest.
one of the
No,
cheapest
no,
ones.
the cheapest, the cheapest.
The
I didn't say,
cheapest.
yeah,
Oh, you didn't say bad, one of the cheapest. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This cell, including the power supply, is about $15, $12.
Okay. All right, but if you have that board in the back, like if that thing gets too hot, isn't that a fire hazard?
Well, no, I mean,
Oh boy.
no, no. Actually, just to put it together, you need to be aware of what you're doing because you're using electricity, right?
Peter, I don't know, honestly, I don't know whether this is a good idea. Yeah. I don't
Don't be,
know if it's a good
don't be afraid. Trust me.
idea. Trust me, I'm not a doctor.
No, that's why I never say anything about therapies.
No,
I'm not.
I get totally that people are short of on money and they are trying to like do hacks to just save money as much as possible. I mean, this is how I started out, and this is why I bought the cheaper Synergy machine back then. But that was not a good idea as it turned out. You know, so some things I would say some things you don't want to be like super super cheap.
But okay, it's like remember that video of the guy that I think the video is named he beat cancer twice with a chip generator or something.
Hmm. Yeah, Galen,
Okay,
Galen Hibbert. Yeah,
he used air in a super cheap cell
that's true.
and it worked. But he didn't do like uh, you know uh, insufflations or stuff like that. He was doing water. He was doing I don't know what else.
But I
So
don't know exactly what generator did he use. Do you remember what generator he used?
no, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because they all use the same type of cell.
Yeah,
The water and fruit and vegetables one.
yeah.
So no, I'm sure. You know, the only thing is that if you find a cell that gives you a proper output,
Hmm.
Now it's gonna, with every cell, you cannot get two cells to give the exact same output all the time. They vary, especially
Right.
like this type of cell that has
Hmm.
the electrodes put by hand and stuff. It's less accurate than a Chinese one because
Oh,
those are not.
really? Every
Well,
one of those cells are made by hand.
this one, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yeah,
Right. So yeah, this is what I was talking about in my video that I shot. I that's what I said. Like, even if you have like 10 identical cells, they're like really like all produced in the same manner, there will be a variation in the ozone
a
output.
slight variation, yeah.
Right. And the thing with longevity, people say that, like, this one doctor, he said, I don't know whether you read this, like, he
No,
tested longevity generators and promolife generators, and he said he came to the conclusion that longevity generators are much more accurate. And then I laid out in my video, I explained why he can't actually know this, why no one can know this, because what longevity does is basically they print out an individual chart with
a
each
custom chart
machine,
for
a
each
custom,
generator.
exactly, a custom chart for each generator. So if you have 10 different EXT 120s, which is the same model, they will have 10 different ozone output charts, right?
Right,
So this is one thing. Another thing is, like, most of the longevity generators, they're shipped together with the longevity regulator.
right,
So it as good as never happens that people use like a longevity generator with like a regulator from Amazon or something, right?
right,
So this is another thing. So the two things are calibrated onto each other. And this is what the chart is based on. It's based on the generator and on what the generator produces with that very regulator, right?
right.
So the regulator could be completely off, the ozone generator could be completely off, but you would never find this out by measuring the output and looking at
Because
the
it,
chart,
right, right.
right? Because when you measure it, it would give you exactly what the chart says it should give. And,
Hmm.
and yet, those two things could be totally inaccurate,
Right, right.
right?
Hmm.
So this is just the magic. And of course, Promolife doesn't do this because they have the output chart stenciled on top
It's a
of the
generic
generator.
chart, yeah.
It's a generic chart. So you have like the normal variation with their generators, like plus minus 2 or 3 micrograms per milliliter, which is still extremely precise, right?
Right,
But it's just inaccurate to say that, longevity is more accurate than Promolife based on the measurements he did. Like, you would have to actually separately measure the oxygen regulator and how precise that is, right?
right,
And then you would have to separately measure the generator with a different regulator, with a
right.
regulator that you would know is correct, right? So this adds to this mysticism about those magical longevity generators of this cosmic purity and their like super
Yeah.
precision, which really we don't know whether this is true. I heard some stories. This is rumors, so I'm not going to repeat them, but there are rumors about every generator. So
Exactly. No, I think they're very good generators. I always
yeah,
say
yeah, definitely,
I don't
definitely,
like their marketing strategy. I don't like
right,
misleading people. But other than
right.
that, and the prices, I think they're overpriced.
Right.
But
I think they're definitely good generators. Do you absolutely need to have a longevity generator to successfully treat whatever you want to treat with ozone? No, I don't believe that. Yeah, but I don't know what to think about that hack. I tend to think, I like I don't think I would like.
no, it's not. And when I do it, I'm gonna be very clear. It's not a recommendation. It's just you know a measure, one type of cell in a measure that I know that it's giving you that output.
Mhm.
You can do it or not. That I don't care. But at least that one that Kevin posted. I'm sure it's good to treat a bunch of horses together, but you can get hurt. So
Right. Yeah,
that
yeah. This is, you see, this is the danger that I see, like with those hacks, and then people start getting creative, because they
hmm
think, hey, it's so easy, I can just like get the cell from Alibaba and then this part from Amazon and da da da
and
da.
yeah, but that's when you get that problem. You if I said no, 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 3 grams is too much, go to 1 gram. That doesn't really tells you anything because, like I show you here, each cell works differently. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna know how much ozone are you getting. So
Right.
okay, so that was it. The other part is how to treat your house.
Okay.
Everybody wants to know. Um, so to treat your house, you need something like this. Okay, this is a high volume ozone generator. Uh, this one is about 6 grams per hour, but the volume really it comes from the fan. It's a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never achieve the same thing with a therapy generator. You can just empty your oxygen tank, and you're not gonna feel the same space like with something like this.
Okay.
So, okay, normally what I do when I don't treat my house, except if it smells or something. Carla gets the idea that we need to, or Carla is very picky. So if we get a visitor or something that had flu or whatever, she wants to.
Okay.
So
If,
the
if
way
you
you
had
do
a,
it,
if you mean if you had a crowd of people infected with the coronavirus, then you
yeah,
tend to like
yeah.
ozonate it afterwards.
When
Okay.
when I invite my Chinese friends, I always. So okay, the way I do it is, well, first of all, you need to be careful with plants, people, and pets. Okay, with when you're using ozone, plants, people, and pets are you need to take out. Another consideration, depending on how much ozone you're gonna put, is anything that has rubbery material, like your underwear, your socks, your, I guess, brass. Because you'll be amazed. It gets brittle and goes bye
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
So okay. That being said, the way you do it is, you figure out where if you're using your ducts, because you can just place this thing inside a room,
Mm-hmm.
close the room, and let it work for, in a room, I guess, 30, 40 minutes. Uh,
Okay.
and then it'll shoot up by itself because they have a timer, and then wait a couple of hours, and that's it. But if you're going to do your whole house, the way I do it, I use the air conditioning system to disperse the ozone
Okay.
or to move the ozone around. So what I do is I figure out where the return is for the system.
Mm-hmm.
Your air conditioner blows cold or hot air, but that air needs to return to the system. So you figure out where the return is.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, it's where you need to change the filters every month or so.
Mm-hmm.
So you place your generator next to the return.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on the fan. I mean, not necessarily the air conditioner or the heating system, but the fan, the system that circulates the air,
Mm-hmm.
and leave this running. You know, it'll clean your ducts. It'll clean it get if you have smelly house, you know, smoke or cigarettes, or your cat is not too tidy. This will take care of it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very easy. I probably never do it more than maybe a couple of times a year. You don't need to. I've read people that says, every afternoon I leave my generator. You don't need to do that, and I'm sure they're getting some material damage that they haven't even figured out that it's.
Mm-hmm.
getting damaged.
Yeah, this is okay. One question that people often ask is, what about the electronics? Like, do you need to stow away electronics, like computers, TV, something?
Remember that I posted about a family of rats that invaded my garage?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time. And I
Oh,
used,
well, yeah. What? But I forgot what you said back
okay,
then.
what happened was that I figured out I had a rat problem in the garage.
Uh huh.
I find out where they were coming in. I fixed the place. And once it was fixed, the rat came and visited me, asking me, now how am I supposed to go out? So I had that problem. I have a huge garage with lots of crap and rats inside.
Uh huh.
So what I did, I opened the garage door like an inch
Uh huh.
so they could see some light,
Uh huh.
and left um, like 80 grams of ozone, a bunch of ozone.
Uh huh.
That's the time that I figure out that my rubber materials go bad really, really fast, because within an hour, this took about an hour to get rid of the rats. But all my masks, like the bands, they
Uh
went
huh.
bad. So,
They went bad.
but I'm telling you this because in the garage I had the computer that I use to work on my cars,
Mhm.
and at that time I had the computer that I use for movies in the
Mhm.
garage, and it was running. Nothing happened to it, and it was a bunch, but I mean a bunch of ozone. So I guess it could damage some components, but it'll take you know forever. So if you're cleaning your house, no, I wouldn't worry about that.
Wait, so did the rats actually die in the garage, or
No,
did
no,
they
no,
just they left?
no, they left. No,
Awesome.
that's
And they
that's
never
why
came back? They never came
they
back?
they didn't have a way to come in. The problem was a hole
Uh-uh.
on the wall, so they
Uh-uh.
could come in and out. But I bored that they couldn't go out.
Uh-uh.
But the
Right.
the thing with ozone, and that's why I always said it's really, really hard to hurt yourself breathing ozone. I mean, you need to be disabled, not able to move,
Mhm.
or maybe super drugged or something, because ozone will hurt you when it's hard enough to damage you. You'll know. I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot get hurt just, I never figure out that I was getting hurt, you
Right.
know.
Right. Because you
So,
will know, and then you will stop. Then you will
or
just
run or
either
whatever. Yeah,
run, right, or like shut off the ozone, or like yeah, do something
yeah,
because
exactly. So the rats, I leave a place for them to go out, so they went out.
right,
And the same goes for people concerned about pets. Pets are not stupid. If it's too much ozone, they'll move away,
they
you
will
know.
leave. Hmm.
Unless you close the room with the pet inside and turn on. That's different because they won't have a place to go.
Right. Well, what could happen then? Then you could kill the pet.
They'll die. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. We don't want that.
a terrible die. I guess. I guess it's yeah. I I only once decided to try it, and it was a nasty experience.
Yeah. So ozone will even get rid of rats. Awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I posted on the group. Somebody said power supply looks like a basic thing from a computer. Yeah, it's a power supply. Um, I
Okay.
Do you
What's the
have
next?
any question for the house thingy?
No. Mm-mm. So, but so it won't damage the AC, the ozone,
No,
when you run? No. No.
no,
Mhm. Okay.
no. No, I don't think so.
You
I
know, this
mean,
also shows that because the AC is there's also plastic parts in there, right? That it shows that like most plastic seems to be pretty resistant to ozone because otherwise,
Yeah, but
That
the
you,
AC, I'm trying to think. There's not much plastic. I mean, the ducts
no.
are galvanized metal normally,
Oh, okay.
and I mean, it could, I guess, oxidize eventually, but it's galvanized, so it'll have some resistance.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, you need to be careful with materials like that, like something that can get oxidized. It'll get oxidized. Um, but I don't think like if you're gonna treat your house for an hour, you're gonna have that problem. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to take everything out or no, no.
Wait, so that computer in your garage, it's still working or?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah, and it has survived. I've done that different times, not with that much ozone. That was to force the rats out. But like for instance, sometimes I'm during spring or I get mosquitoes in the garage.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm gonna be working there, I turn on the ozone thing to get rid of them. They die. So
You turn the ozone in to kill the mosquitoes
I do.
while you sit in the garage or
No,
no?
no. If
No.
I'm
Okay.
gonna have to work in the garage and I know that there's mosquitoes or stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
I ozonate them.
I see. Okay.
But uh, I mean, the computer is there. Uh, most of the materials are fine. Just the rubbery things, those don't last.
Right, but only when there's like the natural rubber, the latex inside, right?
Yeah, like let me get it. Hold on. This was one of the masks in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
I have to replace all of this, all
Yeah,
of this here.
yeah, yeah. I
All right.
know what you mean. Those straps, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they get damaged.
And look what I found.
Another glass cell. Is this another longevity? No.
No, this is uh, a copy of the longevity done by myself.
By yourself.
Yeah. So this is how it looks without any electrodes.
Yeah, awesome.
Anyway, so I think that's basically it. Uh,
That's
you
basically
know,
it. Okay.
yeah, I don't have, we don't have any questions from anyone. So
Yeah, that was very technical. I don't even know. I don't know how many people watched, if anyone watched, or how many people fell asleep.
right now we
Yeah.
have 6 people there. Yeah,
Oh,
probably there everyone is sleeping.
okay.
So
Okay,
we may
so
start giving therapy, sleep therapy.
um, okay, but this will be part of the files in the group, so people will be able
Yes,
to
this
rewatch it
this
if they
will
want.
remain there and yeah.
Hmm. All right. Well, cool. Interesting. Very
And
interesting.
don't worry, we'll discuss about my hack generator. Don't.
Yeah, I'd rather stick with my Promolive
Oh
generator.
no, no, me too. One generator that I want to mention because I was really, really impressed in a good way. Not for
Hmm.
me. I don't use any of the generators we normally suggest, but still my preferred one is the Promolife single cell. If I had to buy a generator for me, that's the one that I would buy. But if I wanted to send a generator to my mother,
Uh-huh.
I will send this one.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's just simple. I mean, it's really hard to get confused. It's really hard to. It's just 1, 2, 3, all the
You,
way up
you
to
like that?
11.
You like that one to where is it go? It goes 1 to 11 or something, right?
Yeah. So for a person that wants no complications, and
Yeah.
a good generator, that's my choice.
So like for someone like who has like no technical
Yeah.
understanding of generators and
Uh,
doesn't want to really go
no, no,
into
yeah,
that,
get
so this
confused
is
with that's the simplest solution that I've seen.
that's the
I
thing.
like that.
Okay.
I like
Okay. Okay, what would you say is like, because because on this thing you can't really figure out the flows that easily, and they can be important for some things, like for example ear insufflations, right? You don't want to like set like you know 1 liter or 5 liters per minute when you do
right.
ear insufflations, and this is not very easy to figure out on that generator. Do you think this is a
That's a
concern,
good point.
danger?
That's a good point. Now, you mentioned ear insufflations that I've never done and I would never suggest just because I'm afraid of getting an ear pain. But no,
Okay.
that's a very good point. I think Mika needs to say, okay, between this and this, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very
Okay.
good
So
point.
it should come with like, okay, for ear insufflations, only use settings, I don't know,
Between
four
this and
to seven
right,
or
right,
something.
right.
And for rectal insufflations, you can use those and so on.
Yeah, I don't. The only problem that I see is maybe ear because rectal insufflations, if for the gamma, you're gonna be okay with the flow, I think.
Well, if you do them directly, then I think
Yeah,
the
no, but
flow
even
must be.
directly, it's not gonna be that much. But ear insufflations may be too much.
Well, you don't want to use like high flows of like, let's say 2 or 3 liters per minute
Oh no, no, no.
for direct rectal
I don't
insufflation.
think any. No, I don't think any of the settings there it's that high.
Hmm.
No,
Okay, okay. This is cool. So the Stratus 3.0 has your full endorsement.
yes, yes. You know me. I'm kind of picky, but that one, it's a very simple. So I mean, it's not rocket science, but
Hmm.
he got you know, a good idea, and that works. That works
Okay.
very good for people that just needs no problems, no confusion, nothing.
Yeah. Well, what I like is also the output. Like the output goes from, I don't know anymore from memory, but I think the maximum is like 65 gamma or something, right?
75 at 11,
75.
which I think
Okay.
11 should be like 132 or something like that, that nobody
Yeah,
uses.
yeah,
It's not,
right, right.
it's an imaginary output. But
Yeah, so
57, it's a good, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it has a good output range. Yeah, it has a lot of very usable flows.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
cool,
think he did good with that one.
awesome.
Okie dokie. Well, Paola, it was a pleasure.
Same here.
Everybody,
Sorry for the hiccup at the
for
beginning.
the delay.
But
It was
I thought I wrote to you and I confirmed the time, and you said yes, yes, correct.
well,
And
it
then
was
turns
at
out it was
12
by 1 hour. I
noon
was off by
Central
one
Time.
hour. Oh my god.
Okay, everyone.
Well, it worked out. All right. Well,
It
thank you
was
very much. And
nice
yeah,
to see
thank
you all.
you.
You don't need to do nothing. Hold